It's your daily dose of Donna. Welcome to the show. Today is Friday, January 30th, and it's a sad day. It is a sad day in Hollywood because unfortunately, we do have to report that the amazing young at 71-year-old actress Catherine O'Hara has passed away. And so we're just getting into that story. I think everyone's a little surprised by it. I don't think anyone expected for her to be someone that would die at this age. We've all never heard that she was sick or whatever. Let's get into the story and talk a little bit more about her. Plus, speaking of someone that didn't look very good in their last photo, Ryan Seacrest. We need to talk about Ryan Seacrest and what's going on over there. The world is concerned about his look. I'm also going to talk about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, plus some more top stories, including just an update on some true crime cases and everything. I am not delving deep into the Blake Lively story today. I also need a hiatus from the chaos, but I will tell you about Meghan Markle's fans, because Meghan Markle's fans are maybe worse than the Blake bots. All of that and more on today's Daily Dose of Donna. Thank you so much for being here and for subscribing and liking the show. I am so appreciative of all of you guys that are here every day, or even if you can just show up once a week. It matters. It means a lot. It means the world to me. Thank you, Trent, for gifting a membership to someone here in the community. I don't know who got it, but let us know. And also, I will tell you, the show Daily Dose of Donna is just doing so well right now, and I'm so grateful for it. We have surpassed 60,000 subscribers here on the show. And then, of course, on Apple Podcasts yesterday, I was number 20 in TV and film, which means so much. And I couldn't do that without you guys. And I really want to remind all of you that your loyalty to this show and your constant showing up and cheering me on in the comments and in the chat and, over on Instagram, et cetera, like, it doesn't go unnoticed. I love what I do, and I do it because of you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Let's get into some of these stories. We have a really sad update, and that is, of course, on Catherine O'Hara. Catherine O'Hara from Schitt's Creek most recently, of course, but I know her from so many movies, the most important ones: Home Alone, Best in Show, Waiting for Guffman. I mean, Catherine O'Hara, what a star, has died at the young age of 71. Now, Catherine O'Hara is not, it's all, oh, someone's calling now. Let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb. It's not, um, it's not like expected. And I think that that's why it's so hard when someone like this dies. Oh yeah, Beetlejuice, you guys, Beetlejuice, of course. When someone like this dies kind of out of nowhere, it's always so shocking because I feel like she's been so around, right? I still watch Schitt's Creek every once in a while when I'm kind of like bored on TV, or if there's nothing else on, or if I want to be in a good mood. I don't think that she's ever had a bad role. I don't think she's ever done a bad job on any movie that she's ever done. I feel like, and if she's picking a movie to be in, it's most likely going to be amazing. I remember being in film class and TV class when I was in high school. I took like a film TV class, and two of the movies they made us watch were Waiting for Guffman and Best in Show. These are both Christopher Guest movies. Christopher Guest is an incredible director who I believe is married to Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis. And then, of course, you know her from anything she's done with Eugene Levy. I mean, they've worked together in some of those movies. They were in Schitt's Creek together, of course, which was everything. Now, the last time she was seen, she honestly did not look amazing, in the sense that she was very, very slim for her. She's always been a slim woman, but at 4 months ago, this is how she showed up. And I'm not sure if you can tell, her face looks a little gaunt compared to where she normally is. And I think that that's probably, I'm hoping this was an expected thing in the sense that she at least had a chance to like reconcile with this. But I don't know if, they're saying that this is following a brief illness that she was rushed to the hospital this morning, Friday at 4:48 from Brentwood. Brentwood gets all of the attention lately. Um, the LAF fire department came to her house, which is, probably a nice house up in Brentwood, and the patient was transported. They were saying in serious condition. And CAA, her agent, said that she died following a brief illness. So my guess is that most likely um, she probably was sick towards the end. I don't know. I mean, it says that she suffered from something that I've actually never heard of before. It's called situs. Okay, hold on. Let me make this right. Situs inversus. This is something I've never heard about before, but this is wild. It's an extremely rare condition in which all of the individual's organs appear on the opposite side of her body. Did you guys know that? Huh? That's wild. For example, her liver was on her left and her heart was on the right. Wait, what? This is according to page 6. I'm assuming that they're doing their research here. It says 1 in every 10,000 people are diagnosed with situs inversus, which is more common in males. Enrique Iglesias and Donny Osmond also have it. I feel like I just woke up today to read this. I had never, ever heard of that. But a lot of you guys are saying that you have heard of it. Micah heard about it on ER, and Laura said, I've heard of it, and it's not a deadly thing. Yes, page 6 is saying that it doesn't actually cause death. People can live very healthily with it. So something must have happened, I imagine, in the last few months. But she was survived by her husband of 33 years. And actually, I was doing some reading. Her husband, Bob Welch, and her, they got together on Beetlejuice. He was a uh what's it called? A production designer or set designer on Beetlejuice. And that's how they kind of fell in love. And then now her 2 sons, this is a younger picture of her 2 sons, Matthew and Luke, who were born in like 1994 and 1997, I believe. Young guys. And they both work in the industry as well. And I don't think that she is she was showing them a lot. Like, I think they're very private. I don't think they're on red carpets as adults. I don't think they're even like public. So we'll have to see, what they have to say about it. I thought this would be nice if we just look through some of her older pictures. The reason this means so much is we all grew up to her, right? Like, I don't care how old you are. I think we all basically have like lived our last 30 some years watching her on TV, at least 30 some years. This is her in the 80s, 1980s. And then here's her in 1985. Oh my God, Beetlejuice days, right? 1986. Here's Beetlejuice in 1988. There she is on a red carpet. There she is with Johnny Carson in 1990. 1990. This is like a very famous picture of her because this is Home Alone time right here, right? And this is her with her husband in 1992. He looks a little like Jim Carrey. I'm imagining she's in here because it's like what is this picture? Is this the Nightmare Before Christmas? I feel like that's the Nightmare Before Christmas. And I actually never really watched the Nightmare Before Christmas. Don't get mad at me. I'm just not into that kind of stuff. Like the Tim Burton stuff. 1994, here she is, 1994, and with her little baby, 1994. 1995, and I don't know what movie this is. I feel like I should, but I don't remember. And here she is in 2002 with Jay Leno, 2006. She's so recognizable, 2008. and 2013. And then, of course, 2018 on Schitt's Creek, her best role. I mean, I would say this is her best role, right? Mara, 2018, 22. And this is recent in 2023. It looks like she's getting her star or something. Did she? This is her in 2024. Beetlejuice, 2024. That was all Beetlejuice. And here is her last year at the Hollywood Reporter, for the Hollywood Reporter via Getty Images at the studio premiere. It looks like it's the studio premiere. And her final time being photographed publicly was for the Emmys in 2025, 4 months ago. I don't like it, you guys. I don't like when people that we grew up with are starting to pass away. It freaks me out. It doesn't freak me out for me. It's just like time is flying. Life is flying. Our worlds are just going so fast. But 71 is too young. Like 71 is too young to die. Just saying. And I'm sure a lot of people, know people or have friends or family members who are dying in their 30s, 40s, whatever. But it's just so sad. And of course, Macaulay Culkin has already spoken out, and he is mourning the loss of his Home Alone mom. He took to his Instagram and posted this. And I'll show you guys. Nope, not this one. Hold on. He said, Mama. Oh my God, this makes me want to cry. Mama, I thought we had time. I wanted more. I wanted to sit in a chair next to you. I heard you, but I had so much more to say. I love you. I'll see you later. I'm sorry. Why did that make me want to cry? He wrote Mama. Why does that does anyone else start? I'm literally tearing up. I don't know why. That just was so sad to read. Mama, I thought we had more time. I think that's like the big takeaway whenever someone passes away is like, you always think you have more time and then you don't, Oh my gosh, for anyone out there that are struggling through losses right now, I see your chats. I love you and I'm so sorry you're going through it. Nothing makes these things easier. Man, that was so sad to read. Maybe they knew she was sick. I hope that she told her close friends and family that she was sick since it was a brief illness, but we're going to find out more, I'm sure, as the day goes on and as the days go on. I'm sure they're going to speak about it. I'm sure Eugene Levy is just devastated, and Dan Levy, his son, and everyone else. But rest in peace, Catherine O'Hara. Ugh, Mama. Okay. Does anyone else have any important thing that they want to share about her? And I can highlight the comment. Her husband, poor man, 33 years and then just gone. Oh, I can't. Okay. Let's try to move on to some lighter topics. I'll try. I'll try my best these days. But before I do it, can I just shout out Olipop? Okay, Olipop is the gift that keeps on giving. And I just got a brand new case of the Shirley Temple flavor. I am so excited about it because Olipop is a new kind of soda. Listen to the opening of the can if I don't break a nail. Doesn't that sound good? It's a kind of soda that combines the classic soda taste with the benefits of a functional ingredient blend to support digestive health. And it's reimagining soda with high fiber and low sugar. Only 4 grams of sugar. I think I can't read. Yes, in this entire thing. And only 40 calories. And guys, it's so good. Oh my God, it's so good. Every time I have a sip, I'm like, wait, Olipop is so good. They have so many different flavors. But this is a flavor everyone can feel good about, the Shirley Temple flavor. It's Olipop's take on the Shirley Temple is like the classic you remember, but brighter, bolder, and made with real ingredients you can actually feel good about. And I will tell you guys, this is so exciting, is that you can get a free can of Olipop If you buy any 2 cans of Olipop in store, we will pay you back for 1. By we, I mean Olipop. So it works on any flavor or any retailer. And by the way, you can get it at I saw it at Whole Foods, at Walgreens, at Walmart, at Amazon. I mean, it's basically a Target. It's everywhere you go is honestly, you can find it. But the cool thing about it is that if you go to Drink Olipop, it's right here on the screen, drinkolipop.com/Donna. That's DRINKOLIPOP.com/Donna. You can get yourself a free can of Olipop. So at these days when you can get something for free, take advantage of it. And cheers, you guys. Cheers to the weekend. And honestly, oh, look at that. Rachel says, I got my $3 back by the next morning. How cool is that? Thanks, Rach. Anyway, I will tell you that, the one thing about Catherine O'Hara's death is it reminds you to cheers to positive things, focus on positive things. We spend a lot of times these days, I do it too, doom scrolling and spiraling out in our social media feeds, etc. And like while some of that may feel important at the time to do that, you have to think about your mental health and you have to think about spending your time with your loved ones and be around people that you care about and call them when you love them. And, make sure to take time for the good also. It's really, really important for our brains, our mental health, and our heart. So thank you, Catherine O'Hara, for making us laugh. And I will spend this weekend rewatching Best in Show and waiting for Guffman and showing it to my kids because I think it's my 13-year-old will get the best laugh out of that movie. So sad. Let's talk about Ryan Seacrest. Can we move on and talk about Ryan Seacrest really fast? And if more information, of course, comes out from Catherine O'Hara, I'll let you guys know. This is okay. Ryan Seacrest, and I'm trying really hard. I really want to be kind about his looks and about the way he is showing up on screen. But Ryan Seacrest looks like a shell of himself these days. And we had the conversation about Kelly Osbourne when Kelly Osbourne lost her dad, and then she was showing up on screen and she was looking incredibly gaunt, which incidentally, one of the Meghan Markle fans that is really mad at me because my candle came without a wick, called me Kelly Osbourne. Said, "Oh, you look just like Kelly Osbourne." And I was like, "Are you saying that I look skinny?" Like I was kind of like, "Oh, well, I guess it's not the whole one." So anyway, Ryan Seacrest, he's looking pretty gaunt. He's looking pretty gaunt. And we've noticed it if you've been following him at all on social media, which by the way, I don't, but his stuff comes up every once in a while. And I grew up with Seacrest too. I mean, I'm from Los Angeles. He was on Star 98.7 and then Kiss FM and of course, American Idol and everything. But Ryan Seacrest has been looking quite skinny lately. And the first time I really noticed it was right around New Year's. He was doing some sort of workout and it popped up in my feed. And I was so confused by it. I said, "Oh my gosh, this is what Ryan looks like now." So it's not an overnight thing, but let's talk about this really fast. So back in December, he was showing up on it was stuff like this. Okay. And I was so confused by it. He was very, very skinny, slim, but also muscular, right? At least he's working out. Okay. But when you're used to what Ryan Seacrest looks like, it's like a little shocking. Now, Ryan Seacrest was not ever like a heavy man, but it was kind of shocking to my eyes. Okay. And then it kept going. Remember, he did this. Like, look at him. Okay. His face is very, very gaunt already. And this is in December. And then, of course, he took this photo, which was hold on. It was like a Harry Styles situation. I don't know what's going on. But what does he look like? James Kennedy? Maybe it's a James Kennedy vibe. Is that what it is? Is he on drugs? Is he drunk? Or is he just trying to look like Harry Styles? I don't know. Very, very odd looking. And we thought it was that. Like, we thought that's, I mean, I thought, like, there's no way you can get, he's not going to get skinnier than that until I saw this one clip that popped up on, and this is not even it, but it's the one that page 6 is kind of jumping all over here. And it's him in a clip with Vanna White, where, I guess it went viral on Instagram here. Yes. So it was on the Wheel of Fortune Instagram. Let's check it out together. I just want to make sure you guys are watching it. Yes.
Happy and proud to say that my longtime boyfriend, John Donaldson, and I are married. It's finally true. I've read about it for years, but I'm here to say that it's true.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Please watch Ryan.
Big news. We've been holding this back the whole time in front of you. Right? She just said to me this morning, she sends me a text and she says to me, can we have a word when you come in? And I'm like, yeah, we can have a word.
Okay. If you're watching, I think you can see he truly does not look healthy. And I say this not from a place of like judgy, like, hey, you look at. It's about the fact that this is not a natural look. It's not like he's a naturally skinny guy. He has had an extreme transformation over the last, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. And most likely it is with the use of GLP-1s, because he does have what they call Ozempic face. And that is a real thing. Ozempic face is when you lose a ton of weight too fast and then your face is like really hollowed out and you look kind of like, honestly, I hate to say it, you look sick. Right? He looks truly unwell. He doesn't look healthy. When you're healthy, you have some color in your cheeks. You have some fat in your face. And some people are just naturally really skinny and gaunt. So like, I don't think those people look unhealthy. It's the ones who they have that quick transformation. So people are starting to question what is going on with Ryan Seacrest. And people on that post are saying there's no way that's Ryan Seacrest. Like, how can it be? But he is saying, no, I'm doing great. They're saying about how the shows are doing good. He is so happy from New Year's Rocking Eve, American Idol, Wheel of Fortune, Celebrity Wheel of Fortune. Some people are saying that the gaunt Ryan Seacrest were thinking that he was portrayed by an actor. It says it doesn't even sound like Ryan, never mind not looking like him, which is kind of true. And then other people are saying, no, he's just older. Okay. I'm going to say, in my opinion, this is an addiction. The over-exercising, overtraining, under-eating type of behavior feels a little like an addiction to certain people. And I can say this really openly and honestly because I do have, I think, an exercise addiction in the fact that I like to go and move my body every day. But moving my body sometimes is not going to the gym. It could just be going on a walk with my dogs. I like to move. I don't like to stay sedentary all day. I don't like knowing that I haven't done anything active. Sometimes I do that. It happens, where I just don't do anything all day, but it's not a good feeling for me. It's like mentally it's important. But then I also make sure that I eat. So I think there's got to be like a little bit of a fine line between healthy when it comes to looking good, feeling good. But I do think a lot of these people whose lives are on camera and on TV, and I feel it just even in my own little corner of the internet here, where you feel a lot of judgment. People call you fat. People call you skinny. People call you ugly. People say that, they call me everything under the sun. And it's really, really, it's really hard on your mental health when you're online, when you're on camera and people are calling you names and mean about it, like in the comments. And here I am already talking about Ryan Seacrest in the fact that he's like a little too skinny because I think he took it too far. I think he was trying really, really hard to look good and feel good. And now it's like, it doesn't look good or feel good anymore when you're looking like that. It's almost like how Mandy Moore, who I think is one of the most beautiful people ever, lost a ton of weight and her face looks different. And I think she's also done something. I think there was some surgeries or whatever. But if you look at Mandy before and after, it just doesn't look healthy. Now, there's certain people that lose a lot of weight, but they look phenomenal. right? Like, I think Adele looks gorgeous. I think a lot of people, out there can do it in a very healthy way. So there is an interesting dynamic, and there's like an interesting line you have to cross. And I'm sure people out there will be offended by this conversation. I'm not trying to offend anyone. I don't think, I just think that we have to be careful because before you know it, like, I've talked to so many people. I have a friend who's in Overeaters Anonymous. I have friends that are in, all kinds of eating disorder programs. And these things are real. These things are real. And actually, there's something called orthorexia, remember? So it's very important. Now, I will tell you, my husband, Lance, I saw someone just say, I like a little junk in my trunk. My husband likes a little junk in his trunk too. His trunk or my trunk? A trunk. He likes junk somewhere in something. And I will tell you, Lance told me the other day, he said, Donna, don't lose any more weight. He goes, I don't see your butt. And then I got self-conscious about it. And I was like, shit, I don't want to lose my butt. I have a little bit of a bubble butt, like a cute little bubble butt. And I want to make sure to maintain it. So now just going to have to eat the cake. So sad. So sad. All right. I like this Friday. Other than Catherine O'Hara and the sad news, I feel like we're just going to we're trying to keep it light and tight in tough times. In tough times, you come to me for light and tight. How about that? Okay, let's talk about some other stories. I wanted to cover last night the story about or yesterday, the Tepe, Monique Tepe, and that awful story about Spencer and Monique, the dentist, and the man, Michael McKee, who's being held for murder, basically, because he was her ex-husband. And this is the story of the Ohio dentist. If you guys remember that story, we talked about it last 2 weeks ago now. I can't even remember, where husband and wife were found murdered I'm like, let's keep it light and tight, but let's talk about a murder story. Oh my God. I really need to watch what I'm saying here. But let's just talk a little bit about what's happened. So Michael McKee was arrested, her ex-husband. They were found, husband and wife, murdered in their bedroom with the 1 and 4-year-old in the other room in the house in Ohio, in this condo in Columbus, Ohio. It was like this lost, it was this murder case. Like, people were trying to find who could potentially be the person. And then, of course, he got arrested. Now, Michael McKee, his car was the reason that it was found. And it was found out in, like, I believe it was Rockford, Illinois. I don't have that in front of me, but it was Rockford, Illinois. And this is a vascular surgeon, her ex-husband that they divorced 2017, I want to say, like, so long before. So it's pretty crazy. People were saying, how in the world and why in the world would he go after Monique and her current husband 7-8 years later? But now that he's been arrested and he is charged with the murder and he is in jail, there's an affidavit, an unsealed affidavit in the Michael McKee Tepe murder case. And in this affidavit, there's been a few different things that have come out with it. So, for example, Michael McKee has been allegedly stalking the victims, Monique and Spencer Tepe, for weeks before they actually were murdered. And this says that investigators are saying on video that a video shows that Michael McKee was on the property of his ex-wife and her husband nearly a month before the double homicide. He had gone to their house a month before. He was on their property. He was on the yard grounds while the couple were at a football game. And then apparently early that night, December 6th, Monique, the woman who was unfortunately murdered, she left a Big Ten championship game early. And the reason why is she told her friends that she was upset about something involving her ex-husband. So clearly this man, this Michael McKee, was giving Monique and Spencer, probably just Monique, if not both of them, a really, really hard time, and was kind of stalking and like terrorizing her. The affidavit also includes statements from friends and family that Monique had described Michael McKee, as abusive both during and after the marriage, including threats like he could kill her at any time and comments that she would always be his wife. So this is a man that got separated in 2018. We're now in 2026, maybe 2017. I can't remember. And he's still that obsessed with her. He's still terrorizing her in this way. He's still going on and saying, I could kill her at any time. She'll always be my wife. And then, of course, the vehicle was found leaving the Tepe home and then found, and a weapon was also found that matched the suspected murder weapon. Of course, Michael McKee ended up getting charged with 4 counts of aggravated murder and 1 count of aggravated burglary. He has pleaded not guilty and is being held without bond. So this is clearly a story. It feels like an open shut case to me, where an ex-husband was so like over the top obsessive, maybe like became just honed in and focused on this woman who is meanwhile living her life and moving on and continuing on with everything. And it's just so sad that this is, actually happening. It's just so sad. I feel so bad for those kids that were left. And it reminds me, I'm actually listening to a podcast right now. If you guys are into true crime, there's a podcast series that I'm listening to now that is not new, but it's my first time ever listening to it. And it's so in depth and it's so long. Like I'm on episode 11. What year did this come out? It's called Cold, the Susan Powell Case Files. I'm on season 1. It's only season 1, I believe. But this is a podcast that talks about murder. I'm trying to think when it was actually released. It doesn't say. Oh, 2019. So this is an old podcast. It's 67 years old, but it's about a murder that happened in like 2009, 10, 11, something like that. And it's a husband-wife situation. And it's so devastating. But when you hear about certain people like this, that just in their mind are like convinced, they're focused, they're one-track mind to go and unfortunately murder their spouses or just anyone, right? It's such an illness. It's just absolutely awful, but it's a great, great podcast. If you guys are interested in something to binge, I started it like on Tuesday and I kind of can't stop. Anyway, that is the update on the Tepe story. We also have, of course, I haven't talked about a few of the different cases that are happening right now, but the Reiner case is still going on. We still don't have an update on that right now. And that is really kind of where we are in the true crime that I think is interesting for me. I don't cover every story, as you guys know. I try to stay away from certain ones, but that is that. Okay. We need to talk for a second. I don't want to get into Blake Lively, but let's just talk a little bit about Blake Lively. I want to just say a couple things. Blake Lively, this voicemail that she left that we covered like 3 or 4 days ago, Monday, Tuesday, we covered her podcast. I mean, her podcast. It was a podcast. Blake Lively's voicemail was a podcast because it was so long. When I listened to that voicemail, I'm just going to be honest. I find it very interesting how they're framing this voicemail in the press because, I love Daily Mail. I love Page 6, all of these. But this is the first time where you guys are going to be mad at me. I kind of disagree how they are framing the Blake Lively voicemail. Do you guys remember listening to it? Tell me if you think that the Blake Lively voicemail was so telling for this case, because I'm just going to share with you guys how they're covering it, and then you'll tell me. So this is the article on Daily Mail is saying bombshell new leaked audio that could sink Blake Lively. Okay. I'm like, the only people that feel, okay, I'm curious from you guys because I'm seeing some comments now come in. Joy says, yes, it was telling and calculated. I have to say, the only thing I think that was so interesting about that call was that she felt like she was his friend. She felt like she could talk to him like a friend. There was no power dynamic. She was talking to him really like cool and normal. She wasn't scared to talk to him about anything. But also the fact that she mentioned her body. And that's really all that I felt was so telling. So this is so interesting that they're framing, because of all the things that we've seen from Blake Lively, there's so many other things that I think could sink Blake Lively. Like, it would make more sense if they said Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively's texts leaked, not leaked, but released. This is what could sink Blake Lively. Like, that to me makes more sense, because what we saw in her text messages and her conversations with people, that felt way more calculated when it comes to any of this stuff, or way more deceptive, or way more shady. The phone call, it doesn't do it for me, but it's the fat shaming part of it, because she thinks that she was being fat shamed. And it says that because of this audio clip, she says that she wanted to push back filming to get into her best shape after having a baby. And if she says that she is feeling anxious about returning to work so soon while wanting to work out every day, then technically, because of that, she's bringing up weight. So he's not bringing up weight out of left field when he asks her personal trainer, Don Saladino, about her weight. And I do believe that, I think that's pretty much all I see in that call from me that is telling to anything about Blake. Joyce says that if you listen, you can hear Ryan Reynolds laughing in the back. I did not hear about that, but I'm sure he was around, or at least I'm sure he was part of the conversation in the sense of like, do this, call him, leave him this message, etc. But remember, like, I don't know if it holds up in court that she says we were friends, because this is all before the alleged crime that she's going after him for. So that part doesn't really connect with me either. And I'm on Justin Baldoni's side here. I'm like, this is an interesting pick, that this is the thing that could leak her. That could sink her. Now it says, whose side are you on? This is on Daily Mail. So I'm going to click Justin Baldoni because I haven't clicked it. Let's see where we go. Wow. The numbers are a little bit closer here on Daily Mail. Interesting, right? Interesting. All I know is I'm grateful that I don't have a friend like Blake Lively, for so many reasons, of course, but also I do not want a 4-minute voicemail like that from anyone. From anyone. Why did he save it? Does it just get naturally saved? I don't have any of my voice notes saved. Enrique says, but that's the thing, Donna. She never told us they were friends. Like, in her complaint, I've never imagined that they would talk directly. Yeah, I guess she didn't actually say that they were friends, but we know that they were because we've seen their back and forths in their text messages, right? So, this is interesting. This is a good take from it, Lori Jane. She says that he crossed the line when she was pregnant because they were talking about circumcision. And that even came up, even though she's not going after him for that word, that came up in her deposition, that he said circumcision. He talked about circumcision before she even had the baby, when they were just meeting and getting together. And then yet she talks to him 4 weeks after having the baby as being like good old friends. So yeah, I guess there's like a lot of arguments there that it just doesn't corroborate with her, what we think she thought of him, which was this like awful person. But I'm telling you, I showed you guys the receipts last week where she speaks to him in a certain way one time, and then she speaks to her friends about him in the same day a different time. So clearly she's an absolute fake bee. And meanwhile, Ryan Reynolds is nowhere to be found. He's very quiet. He's not saying anything. Now let's see if he says anything about Catherine O'Hara, because I believe that they probably worked together at some point together. Don't you think? Because of the Chevy Chase of it all, the comedians, the Martin Shorts and the Steve Martins. And like, I would imagine Ryan Reynolds does have a little connection with Catherine O'Hara, but basically I'm saying, how can he make it about him? And I don't think he can this time. I don't think he can. Okay. So let's continue and talk about some more things. Did anyone watch Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? I watch it every week, and I watch it the night of because it's just one of those shows that airs early. It airs at 8, which is a perfect show time-wise for me. Here's my thoughts about Beverly Hills, okay? They're still trying to push really hard for the Amanda Frances hate. They're trying really hard to push on this idea that she's this awful human being. And I can see it because she is a one-upper. And I can see it because, as Erica and Rachel Zoe say about her, that she's the kind of person that will talk really loud on the phone. Oh my God, I have my phone right here and I picked up my water bottle, like really loud on the phone about a business call when you're in a quiet area with like other people that don't want to hear about your business call, but you'll talk about it just because you want other people to hear that you are on a business call. And I feel like, I feel like that is a conversation that should have not have happened. That Amanda Frances in the cab or in the car with Erica and Rachel right there talking about her website, like talking about frivolous stuff. So I do think that's who she is. I do think that she tends to be someone that is a one-upper, a show-offer. And that's most likely because she wasn't born into money. She wasn't born into a lot of wealth. And I think when you're that person, when you're a self-made person, you maybe tend to want to share that more. I'm not saying she's okay for doing that. I just think that's what she does. But then she goes too far. So we spent a lot of time in her house. And this season, we see that she has bought Kyle Richards' old house. And Kyle Richards' old house is the house that we were watching Kyle in from the very beginning of the show, basically. It's the house that we saw all her kids grow up. And so there was this really emotional scene. And I have to give it to Kyle and Mauricio for the first time showing us something that felt real. But there's a really emotional scene where Kyle Richards is walking through her old house that she sold to Amanda Frances with all the renovations. It's completely redone. And they're walking through, and in every room, they're getting kind of reminded of something that used to happen in that room. Oh, this used to happen here. This used to happen here. And then we see the flashbacks of little Portia and the girls and Mauricio and her kissing and the parties and this and this and that. And in my opinion, it was such an emotional scene. I'm a sentimental person. I love home videos. I love old pictures. I can just sit there and look over stuff for years and years and years. Like I love it. This would be so hard for me too, because Kyle then breaks down and she's sitting in the living room. And it was very produced in the sense that the producers are like, Amanda and the husband, I forget his name, you guys just leave the room for a second. Like, we need to get this scene. So Mauricio's there as well. And it's not the first time we've seen Mauricio in this episode. We saw him 2 times in the episode, and I can tell you about that in a second. But he sits down with her on the couch. And she, Kyle, she's crying. Kyle's a crier. But she starts to cry. And this time I actually understood why she was crying. But she's crying and she's feeling really sad about everything. And he says, why are you emotional? Like, he has no emotion whatsoever. He has no attachment to this house. He's not even feeling sad. He's like happy. Hey, why are you so emotional? And she's like, it's just so sad. I just feel so, it's so hard. And it's just like a flood of emotions being here. And Mauricio keeps looking at her like with this face, like a confusion. He was like, oh, okay. I shouldn't have probably taken you to see that new house. LOL. And she is so sad. And he is like, it's going to be okay. Like, what's the big deal? But it's what she says in her confessional, which is basically, she says, what did she say? She says, I don't know how I let it slip away. How did we let it slip away? And if there's anyone out there that is going through this or has gone through this, right? Like some sort of divorce after what seemed like a very happy life. And I think the reason why she's sad this way is because I think she knows her part in the split. Yes, do I think Mauricio was, he had a lot of infidelities. He was definitely cheating on her. Okay. I think that's a known thing. But she is the reason that she decided to walk away. Like that marriage would have lasted forever and ever and ever had she not walked away, I believe. And I don't know because we're not privy to it. I don't know if she had many conversations with him over the years about like, you got to stop, I got to stop hearing about these cheating rumors or like, what's this girl's phone number in your DMs? Like, I don't know if that was happening, but if it was happening, and he still didn't care and still kept doing it, well, then that's on him. But I believe she fell in love with Morgan Wade. And by falling in love with Morgan Wade, that was her need and her desire to finally say, I can't even be in this marriage anymore. I'm in love with someone else. In her mind, I don't know if she told him that. I'm in love with someone else. I don't want to see you. I don't want to feel you. I don't want to be with you. I have the ick from you, which is what we saw a couple seasons ago when he tried to kiss her and she was like, ew. And then he moved on. She walked away. She let it go. I don't know if they went to therapy and tried to deal. No idea. But he did not, as we know, emotionally fulfill her from Alison Dubois days. And she finally found someone that she felt did, although I don't know if Morgan Wade really did. And then now she's like, I don't think she's with Morgan Wade anymore. At least Morgan Wade doesn't want to be public. So what kind of a relationship can that be? And I think she's lonely. And I think she's sad. And I think she feels like she's filled with regret because I think she would bring him back in 2 seconds if she could. And I don't know if that means she's in love with him. I just think that she wants the comfort of being married and being together. And I felt sad about that for her. I don't feel bad for her because I think she did it to herself, but I felt sad for her. You know what I mean? Now, Mauricio showed up the night before when they were having dinner at some restaurant in Beverly Hills, and he just walked into the table, which, by the way, I don't think that was produced. I think that absolutely just happens because Beverly Hills is a small town. There's a few restaurants they all go to. We know Mauricio and Kyle love their margaritas and Mexican and her non-alcoholic beer. So he walks in, he sees them, and they're all talking about him when he walks over, where basically Dorita's like, would you ever get back together with him? And I truly believe that Kyle would, but he walks in and I don't think he would. After seeing this episode last week, I don't think he would. I think he's moved on. It's actually really sad. And you could look at a marriage and be like, but look at what an amazing life we had. Like that's in its own such a celebration. But is it like, or is the goal to end up together until you die? Or are you okay for a chapter 2? I just cannot see Kyle Richards like falling in love with someone else. I just can't see it. Like another man. I just cannot visually see the love beans. Yeah. Remember when he started calling her Love Bean and we had never heard that ever? And he's like, Love Bean, what? Love Bean, you're my love bean. Yes, Dorit and Mo have more chemistry. And Dorit looks so hot with her little off-the-shoulder outfit with her boobies hanging out in every scene. She's so hot. And she's sitting there and she's like, Mo, I'm going to get your number because we need to have some conversations about PK. We do. We need to talk about PK. And can you come over? Just kidding. I don't think that's really happening, but it's kind of funny to think about. And then Rachel Zoe talks about filing for divorce. And now we've been talking about the Rachel Zoe Roger Berman story forever. I still can't believe that he's not with a man, but he loved another woman. He fell in love with someone else. And he asked for the separation, or maybe she found him cheating. She kicked him out. And she's doing this show intentionally to take him down. I'm convinced. I love Rachel Zoe. She's not that dramatic. We're not getting anything crazy, but I just love watching her. But overall, the season is kind of blah. Let's be real. It's not really giving us that much, but I still like it. So I don't really know how to explain. I don't really know how to reconcile that. It's not giving us anything, but I still like watching it. Then, of course, we watched a little bit of the Valley Persian style last night. I'm not doing a recap on that because I just don't even know where to start. But I will tell you, I don't know how Abamshad and Sky, how will they survive this marriage? One of them wants to sleep in the same room, and the other one says, no, I don't want you snore. You snore. I don't like this. Love me some Persians. Okay. Now, let's continue on another topic. Oh, I should have brought this up with Blake Lively. Derek Huff and Haley Erbert, am I saying her name right? His wife had their baby. We know this. This is Dancing with the Stars. Derek Huff had their baby about a month ago, and she posted the most beautiful little moment. And there's a reason I'm bringing this up to you. It's because I want you guys to see what Blake Lively deems as porn. Okay. This is what Blake Lively saw, essentially. She obviously did not see this video, but she saw something very similar of Jamie Heath's and his wife doing a home birth because they had a home birth. So I just want you guys to look at this. I'm not going to put the sound on because the music, but I want you to see what Blake Lively would be feeling very harassed by. It's a video. Okay. Blake, close your eyes. And there she is in the water. They did a natural at-home birth. And there they go. It was just probably a scene just like this. But Blake saw it as sexually explicit. So I just want you guys to know that birth is beautiful. And there's absolutely no reason that we should think of it as anything but just beautiful. And if you look at it as something sexual, that's probably saying more about you. Just being honest. Finally, if you don't want to see a stranger's vagina, that can be considered harassment. Be so for real, says. If you don't want to see stranger's vagina, that can be considered harassment. I can guarantee you that the video that Jamie Heath showed Blake was just like what I just showed you. So I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure if you know what you're talking about. But we've looked at this video already. He posted it on his Instagram. If Instagram's not removing it, I don't think that's considered sexual. PORN. You know what I'm saying? Next. Birth is beautiful. That's how I feel. Okay. Let's go finally to talk about Meghan Markle, because Meghan Markle's fans are attacking me. They're attacking me as a liar. They think I literally created a fake hole. Speaking of holes, I mean, they think that that the hole wouldn't be here, and I somehow, oh, let's see. Look. No. You guys, it's an empty freaking wickless candle. And I'm telling you right now that the reason that this is happening, and I don't know why it's happening, it could have been that it was too short. It could have been that it fell in transit, but I personally did not mess with it. But that is crazy that it just came out. Do all candles come out? Where's the other one? And also, if they're coming out, who's doing that? Someone is tampering with candles? I broke it. I broke it. I don't want to hurt myself, but her candle is made like shit. For a $65 candle, it's made like shit. And I don't know what to say, but you guys know me and you watch me here. The amount of people that think that I would go out of my way to get a candle, remove it. I'm bleeding. Remove it. I'm literally bleeding. I just hurt myself. Remove it and then take the wick out somehow, put it back in. You think I care this much about Meghan Markle? You do? If you watch me on Kinsey's show, I was shocked. I was shocked in the moment, okay? Now, I'm really bleeding. Ow, this was not worth it to do this entire thing. Now, I will say that her fans are calling me this idea. They're calling me, well, they called me Kelly Osbourne, which I'll take it as a compliment sometimes. They called me a liar, a hag, a cheater, a grifter, a stealer, a this, a that. Like, here's the story. Someone that worked at Netflix sent it to me. Someone that worked at Netflix had swag and sent it to me. I did not buy it from As Ever. So I'm not going to As Ever to tell them I need a new candle. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But what will happen is that I'm going to make content out of it, right? Shouldn't I? Shouldn't I? And here's the thing about Meghan Markle's fans. Why are they so mean? Why are they so mean? You know, there's certain people out there that are the meanest of the mean fans. We've got Taylor Swift's fans. We got Blake Bots. We get what's it called? Candace Owens fans are mean. Jeff Lewis fans, mean. What does that say when your fan base is cruel? Now, you guys are not going to be mean, right? You guys are going to be nice to other people, right? But I will say that this experience has really turned me on Meghan and Harry even more. Because if your fans are so cruel, then it probably is coming from you. That's just my personal feeling. And look, exactly the same thing happened when Link Lauren received his candle. My question for you guys is, why in the world would a fan, because someone said the only people that are talking about it are people that aren't fans of Meghan. If you were a fan of Meghan Markle, do you think, and you received a candle without a wick that falls out if you turn it upside down, would you go to your Instagram or your social media and talk about it? No, because you're a fan of hers. Of course, the only people that are posting that are people that don't really even care about it, you know? So that's what it is. Patricia goes, I'm a Meghan fan, but I'm not mean. We'll see about that. I am seriously bleeding because of doing that experiment, because of this cut. This made me bleed. I'm going to go and tape this up. I have a full cut on my hand and it really hurts. You guys, I love you. Thank you so much for being here. And I am so sorry to, share that horrible news about Catherine O'Hara. It kind of threw me off today. I'm not going to lie. The whole day has felt a little bit off because of it. So, and then finally, before I leave, I will say, I did get this message right here. I'm a bit behind, but have you seen the video of Ryan Reynolds seemingly getting into a huge or a small tiff with Eugene Levy on a carpet? And yes, I did. And we've talked about this so much that I need to find, I don't even know where it is, my notebook of Free Eugene. If you guys remember Free Eugene, that was like a big passion of mine here on the show. So Free Eugene, everyone. I missed Eugene. I love Eugene, and I hope he's doing okay with this awful, awful news about Catherine O'Hara. And if we hear anything else about it, you guys let me know. And today's show was all over the place, and I love you guys very much, and I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you later. I need to go get a Band-Aid. Bye.